the first one from John chapter 14, verses 1 to 3. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God and believe in me. My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I am going there to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and I will take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am. The second New Testament reading from Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 to 30. It goes like this. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, learn from me, for I am gentle and humble of heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And that concludes the readings. I will not bore you with a sermon.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna move into a time to reflect and reflections on Patrick. All right. Before the speakers begin with that section, we invite anyone wishing to come forward and share their reflections on Patrick to please do so after the four main speakers. So I will invite you up again if you have something that you would like to say. So I'm going to start this off with kind of a little piece of Patrick. And let me catch my breath. And this is a script that I wrote up over the last couple of weeks, kind of put bits and pieces of it together. Patrick was a relatively quiet and unassuming individual. Is that my phone?
Yes.
Spam. So Patrick, who spent the vast majority of his life on the west coast of California with his immediate family, a few loving pets, and a very small group of friends that he met from work. His immediate family was unable to join us today for this celebration of his life, so I want to recognize Patty Driscoll, his wife, and son Sean, with wife Leanna, and their two children, Patrick's grandchildren, Oliver, age 10, and Elliot, age 7. So Patrick was an elusive and wandering brother who was very difficult to catch up with. I admired him as my older brother. My reflection on Patrick's life started for me when I was 6 years old. I was a boy growing up, going up to first grade at St. Catherine's Parochial Catholic School for the first time. I enjoyed the opportunity to walk to school and back home every day, every school day, for 3 years with my big brother. It was kind of fun, all right? Because I didn't really have a chance to see my brother while in school, because I was in the first grade on the first floor of this big, huge building, and he was up on the top floor of the building, so I never saw him. And on top of it, we didn't have the fortune to have lunch together. So going to and fro from school was kind of neat for me. The next regular time to spend with my brother was at the dinner table, at least initially for 5 years, until our family got so big that the older siblings, Patrick, Bill, and Evelyn, had to move to the other dining room, which we called the breakfast room. And that's where they ate. Our family just got so big that I couldn't sit beside of Patrick anymore. And I kind of miss that. When I got a little older, say 12 years old, I was finally able to spend more quality time with my big brother, helping him deliver the Philadelphia Sunday Bulletin newspaper using his tiny used car that I don't know how he afforded it, but he got this little skinny Renault Gordini. I don't know if you remember that kind of car. That was high quality one-on-one time for me, again with Patrick, until my brother Bill squeezed me out of that role because money was involved. I got over that loss of time spent again with my big brother. So you start to see a pattern here in me being able to spend time with my big brother. Then he decides to attend college at Kutztown University and eventually leave the home abode for new and exciting times in California. I did manage to catch up with Patrick a few more times when I traveled to his home in San Francisco, and later on when he moved to Petaluma. So moments together for me in his life were so precious. Everyone also enjoyed times together when he came east to Pennsylvania a few times to visit us. I just couldn't get enough of my big brother Patrick. The end. So then we have following. Then we have my sister Kath, Sister Julie, and Sister Margie will be coming up to speak to you for a short period, and then we'll open the floor up.
Thank you all for attending, for being here.
A little louder.
There's another thing called COVID going on. That's much better. Thank you. After perusing the many art displays before us today, which mostly Julie has set up, I have come to the realization that Patrick was a creative, artistic genius in his own right, and that he possessed a deep love for all those special people in his life. For me, from my perspective, Patrick felt love very deeply for others. In church one recent Sunday, my pastor in his sermon was speaking of touch points in one's life, points in which one could feel a powerful sense of love. During this sermon, I drifted a bit and got to thinking of Patrick, and realized that I felt that powerful sense of love when Patrick would call me Kathleen. As everyone else always usually called me Kathy, I always felt his love for me through just this simple way he would say my name, Kathleen. It always made me feel that I was special to him, that Patrick loved me in a most unique, special way, in this extravagant yet simple display of love for me, his sister. I will always remember this and hold him deeply in my heart, my brother, the firstborn of our family, who dearly loved each of us in his heart throughout his life. Though Patrick grew up Catholic, he often struggled in his beliefs through his life as to whether God, or even a God form, truly existed. I, as a believer in the triune God, trust that God, through his eternal salvation for us, has welcomed Patrick into his open arms. I, as well as my entire family, will miss Patrick, and I, in particular, will miss the love given from him in the sound of Kathleen in my life. In closing, I would just like to share a poem of Patrick's, which I read in a notebook composed by Patrick entitled A Zen Bull's Notebook, that I feel is a touch point of Patrick in his life. The poem reads, "There is this thing some call a journey, though not a trip from here to there. Each day we go a little farther, exploring new worlds, if we dare, or fixing leaks that sometimes spring. When least we can sustain the wear, a journey with no start or finish that can vanish into thin air, yet filled with love and beauty, more than enough for those who care." Rest in peace, Patrick. You will be dearly missed by everyone. Thank you. I'm gonna try to keep it up here.
Is this loud enough?
Yes.
Okay. Like Kathy said, Patrick is the oldest. I am number 8. He was quite a bit older than me by 13 years. And I looked up to him because he was an artist. And that's what I hoped to be. So I really was inspired by him. I received many handmade cards. As you can see, he made those cards for all our birthdays, and Mother's Day and Father's Day for our parents, and Christmas for everyone. And those cards are a treasure. We treasure them. So I'm going to let Patrick's words speak for themselves instead of using mine. Shall we tell? As Moses might have said, if you put the boat on top of the mountain, must you put the guru in the sea? If you try to figure this out, you're just as crazy as me. Happy birthday, Julie. Stone strong, I sat beneath velvet sunlight as a sweet scent drifted in the breeze. Realization of all oneness, people, circles within circles, each the other, clears my mind. Peace descended as the evening curtain, purple, star speck, gently caressed the earth. We smiled together. This is a paper bag. Say, Jane, it's a paper bag. It says, made by Ruth Capps, remade by Patrick Driscoll. And this is probably my favorite card. What fool is this who looks across the universe, the places time has passed 1,000,000 years ago? What fool is this who talks to hills and trees and sits and feels the breeze and doesn't have a single place to go? What fool could think that life is love and laughter now and hereafter? None other than the simple fool who now says happy birthday to you. This one got creative with photographs. Okay. Within eternity, outside of time, a silent song flows from the heart of an unknown prophet lighting up the sky. Gifts of wisdom, frozen since the dawn of time, bloom the flowers in the spring, bloom like flowers in the spring. Released to the universe again, a breath born, a warmth born of love blankets the earth. I knew I was going to screw that one up. Ideas fly freely, souls meet and dance, lives expand with joy into the limitlessness of creation. No sadness, no pain, only the soft touch of the South Sea breeze disturbs the hair. The angels of the inner city, at one with each other, bask in the sun, in the new sun, and listen to the voice of the transistor radio. Did you hear that part? A transistor radio on the roof. Okay. Now I got 2 of these. But different sentiment inside. Slowly rolling towards some persistent, intermittent enlightenment, perspective refocused, and comfort prevailed. In time and space, all things exist to the extent we know, though somewhere in this universe, this may not be exactly so. A portal or a passageway could lead into a world askew, where science, art, and philosophy share a kaleidoscopic point of view. A place exists outside of space and time where yesterday, today, and tomorrow have no being, where thought and matter meld. To be there is to be nowhere and everywhere. That's where you are, brother. Nowhere and everywhere. A flicker of fire dancing down the lane, a star going nova beyond the Milky Way. Fairies in the dustbin, sunbeams bouncing off the bay. What spark is lighting up the day? Ah, 'tis the magic of your smile and twinkle in your eye that scatters darkness like a spray of diamonds falling from the sky. He was quite clever. Christmas card. This one's good. I told you about this one. It came upon the midnight clear, in silence creeping o'er the earth, a voice proclaiming pious mirth and promising an end to fear. A silent sound, a ripple through your soul, declaring love the reason why we live, wonder, wander, and die. To realize at last the cosmic whole. Our best holiday wishes to you all this blessed season. Holy crap, Batman.
What?
See, brother, that's you. All you. And lastly, the world is neither cruel nor kind. What you see is what you'll find. That stranger there's not just your brother. We are all one. love one another. Amen.
Why are you recording this?
Okay, can everyone hear me?
No.
Okay, I was thinking of singing a song with the O'Briens upstage, so I won't. Yeah, I was the ninth, Pat was the first. I believe we were 16 years apart, so, yeah. He was gone by the time I was 4, I believe, going on 4. So, yeah, not a lot of special time at all. Like Danny was talking about having his special time with his brother. Yeah, I didn't have that at all at home. So my special time ended up being visits from him, and actually, I was scared to death of him. I was afraid of him. I was that kind of kid. But when this guy came to our house, who was supposed to be my brother, you know, with his hair, I mean, freaking hair. No one else in the family had that hair. And, you know, this is your brother. No. You know, get him away from me. I mean, that's how I felt until I was probably over, I don't know, 10 years old. Till I realized, okay, he is really my brother, okay. But really, our relationship ended up, my relationship with him was more of a writing relationship. He is obviously a writer, and I consider myself one as well. And he and I became pen pals, and that is how our relationship became. I mean, I would write him. Sometimes it would be a month or 2 before he'd write me back, but depending on what was going on in his life, he would write me back and, you know, let me know what was going on with him, his little things that were always, you know, he was very into details, so, about the most mundane things, you know. So, I always enjoyed his letters, and I like to, you know, my way of writing, I think he probably enjoyed it too. But yeah, that was my work. I did have, fortunately, I did get to visit him for a week. I took Maggie, my oldest, and in between marriages, don't worry about that. In between marriages, I went to visit him for a week in San Francisco, and I always consider myself so fortunate to have done that because I got a whole week with him, and he was with Janine then, and their relationship to me was amazing. They just, you could see the love between them. It was so pure, you know, and I said to myself, that's what I want for myself. I want that. And that's what I got. I found Mark. Everybody knows Mark, most of you. And I was like, marriage shouldn't be hard. You know, everyone says so hard, you know. I don't think it should be hard. I think if you found the right person and you show the love you have for each other, you know, and I think Patrick, he did that with Janine. I'm not saying he and Patty didn't have a good marriage. I'm just, the marriage I really saw up close was he with Janine. And yeah, that was just such a, it had a big effect on me. So anyway, we just, I just, that, like I said, that week was so special, and I'll never forget that. And we continued to keep in touch, and it's just been so weird having a brother that's so far away, and you really don't get to have a relationship with them, a normal relationship. But that's about it for me. The O'Briens are taking over now.
change up on the menu here a little bit, since we're running a little later than I thought. That was probably my fault. All right, the O'Briens are on now. And, again, I'm so thankful, to have the O'Briens here with us today. To have all the brothers and the sister and spouses. The youngest. Oh, the youngest, yeah. I was just advised today that Jane is in fact the youngest. All right. So thank you. Thank you, Neil, for that. Okay. So I'm gonna skip over the time to pray and prayers. I'm gonna slip that in at the end after the O'Briens do their thing. So O'Briens, it's front and center.